When my mother was pregnant with me, the doctors diagnosed me as a deformed child, but she chose to give birth to me anyway. After my parents divorced, they referred to me as a little monster. In tears, my mother once asked me why I didn't just die. I never wanted to be a monster. When the little monster finally passed away, everyone at the funeral said that my mother was finally free. But what they didn't know was that my spirit was always lingering around them. My name is Sweet. My mother's little monster. Sweet was the name my mother had lovingly chosen for me long before, knowing full well that I was deformed. Both my father and grandmother had urged her to give up on me and try for a healthy child instead, but she steadfastly refused, saying, "This is an innocent life too, and I will never give up on my child." From the moment I was born, I drew attention. I cried just as loudly as the other children, but all eyes were on me. Freak was the first word I heard directed at me because of my grotesque, misshapen face and twisted body. As I grew older, the smiles on my mother's face became fewer. Wherever I went, I attracted stares. "Hey, freak, oh, that child looks so strange." During these times, my mother would always hold me tightly and walk quickly away. She took me to countless doctors, seeking a remedy, even asking if facial surgery could be an option for me. The doctors would frown and say, "Are you crazy? How can such a small child undergo surgery? Didn't you have prenatal screenings?" Silently, my mother would tighten her grip on my hand. Eventually, the constant arguments between my parents led to their divorce. I once asked my mother what little monster meant. She hugged me and said, "It means something wonderful, Sweet. It means you are a gift from heaven to me." I was so happy. I wanted to be my mother's little monster forever, but as I got older, I quickly learned what being called a monster truly meant. In kindergarten, the adults would not let other kids play with me. In elementary school, boys threw things at me while girls spread rumors saying, "There's a monster in our class." I always sat alone at a table, as no one wanted to play with me. Monster was such a lonely word. However, there was one activity where they included me, playing Ultraman against monsters. I was the little monster. And the only rule was that they got to beat me up. Despite ending up bruised, I was happy because I felt needed. My mother initially sighed, then cried, and sometimes she would suddenly push me and ask, "Are you stupid? Why do you let them beat you?" I would look at her and say, "Because I'm the little monster." My mother would just collapse to the ground. Eventually, she started to change, becoming more cheerful and began to take care of her appearance. At the time, I didn't understand what was happening, but I was just happy to see her smiling again. That is, until one day on my way home from school, I saw her walking with a strange man. She was beautifully made up and smiling sweetly. I happily called out to her, but upon seeing me, her expression changed, and so did the man's. "Is this your child?" he asked before leaving without another word. Back home, my mother threw me to the ground. She cried hysterically. Her eyes filled with endless loathing as she screamed, "Why did I even give birth to you?" As time went on, my mother grew increasingly irritable and began to despise me more each day. Whenever I excitedly tried to share stories from school, she would push me away in annoyance. I died at the age of 7. The whole incident began when my mom took me to visit my uncle's family. My cousin there said he'd show me something fun. He claimed he was taking me out to play. But as soon as we went downstairs, he met up with a bunch of other kids. He pulled out 20 yuan and offered to buy snacks for everyone. Curious, I asked him, "Where did you get the money from?" He rolled his eyes and retorted, "Don't ask questions you shouldn't." My cousin bought a lot of snacks and even a popular yo-yo. He also shared some candy with me, which I pocketed without eating, thinking I'd save it for mom when I got home. After spending a few hours outside with my cousin, we returned. As soon as we got home, everyone was waiting. My aunt scolded my cousin, "Will, where's the 20 yuan I left under the coffee table?" Pretending to be clueless, my cousin said, "What money? I don't know." My aunt was furious and about to punish him when suddenly, my cousin pointed at me and blurted, "She took the money." I saw her. Stunned, I managed, "I didn't," but my cousin was insistent. "Yes, you did. You even bought snacks with it. Check her pockets if you don't believe me." Panic-stricken, I blushed deeply as all the relatives gathered around, everyone suspecting me. My mom approached as my aunt awkwardly chuckled, it's fine, they're just kids joking around, let's go back to eating." However, my mom's face was stern. She pushed past my aunt and fiercely searched my pockets. Tears welled up in my eyes as she found the candy. My cousin shouted, "I told you it was her, Mom." I didn't take it. Before I could finish, my mom suddenly slapped me hard. I lost my balance and fell, not understanding what had just happened. The relatives tried to calm her down. "Let it go, she's just a child," but my mom, hysterical, pushed them away and started hitting and kicking me as if unleashing years of pent-up resentment. "She's not a child, she's a monster. I raised a monster who steals money. Just die, sweet, please just die." The adults struggled to pull her away, and eventually, my grandmother picked me up and locked me in a small room while others tried to soothe my mom. It was then I realized my mom never liked the little monster. In that moment, I felt something inside me collapse, probably the courage that had been keeping me going. I no longer wanted to be my mom's little monster. I can't recall how I got home that night. I just remember not speaking a word to my mom that night. She went to bed early. I quietly got up, collected all the medicine I could find at home. Mom said to take medicine when you're sick, so maybe if I took some, I wouldn't be a monster anymore. I gathered many pills and filled a pot with water. Surely, one of these could cure me. I swallowed all the pills until I could eat no more. Then I climbed into bed to sleep, hoping that by morning, I would no longer be the little monster. But after that, I never got to see another day. When I regained consciousness again, my physical body was already dead. Our cramped little house was filled with people. My mother, devastated, was crying in my grandmother's arms. Through her tears, she lamented, why was she so ungrateful? I treated her so well. How could she choose to end her life?" My grandmother embraced her, and everyone tried to console her, saying, "It's for the best. No one is holding you back now, and the child has gone to a better place." I wanted to lean down and touch my mom, to give her a hug, but I couldn't. The adults were choosing a photo for my memorial, but I rarely took pictures after I was born, and the few that existed were of me buried in my mother's embrace. I wished there was a beautiful photo of me, not one where I looked like a little monster. For some reason, after my death, my soul couldn't leave my mother's side. Time changed many things, and eventually, my mother stopped crying for me, and slowly, no one mentioned me anymore. My grandmother started to actively arrange blind dates for my mom, who became more and more cheerful, no longer carrying the sorrowful look she had in her last years with me. She got married to a gentle-looking man who wore glasses and had a mild temperament, the kind of father I had always wanted. He would hold my mother tenderly, and I had never seen her smile so happily. In the second year after my death, my mom and the man had a daughter, whom they named Happy, wishing her a life of happiness. Happy was beautiful, with fair and lovely features, almost the prettiest child I had ever seen. I played with Happy, and she would happily wave her hands in my direction, babbling away. My mom looked puzzled and wondered, "Strange, what is she reaching for in the air?" Everyone adored Happy, and all who met her praised her beauty, likening her to a princess. My mother's face would always beam with joy. It seemed she too felt proud of having a beautiful child. But I realized something. Happy could see me. In this family, only she could see me. Even as a toddler, Happy tried to talk to me, following me wherever I went. Later, I tried to teach Happy to say, "Sister, sister, call me sister." After several attempts, Happy finally learned the word. She said in her baby voice, "Sis, sister." I was overjoyed, but suddenly, the sound of a plate shattering on the floor startled us. It was the cake my mom had brought for Happy. Her voice trembling, she asked, "Happy, who are you calling sister?" Happy turned around, pointing at the wall, and said in her baby voice, "Sis, sister." My mother's sharp voice suddenly rose as she grabbed Happy. "There is no sister, you don't have a sister." Happy was frightened and started to cry, and my mom, realizing her overreaction, quickly tried to soothe her. I was also shocked. Why could even my existence not be acknowledged? As Happy grew up, enveloped in love, her parents cherished her like a precious gem. Several more incidents occurred where she tried to talk to me, and my mom, worried, took her for checkups. After that, I consciously tried to keep my presence hidden from my mom. Once Happy was able to communicate normally, I made her promise, "Don't tell anyone you can see your sister, okay? It's our secret." Happy nodded seriously and tried to pinky promise, but I couldn't touch her hand. I stayed by Happy's side as she grew up, greedily enjoying the warmth of the mundane world. On Happy's birthday, I would shamelessly join them in blowing out the candles. when the family of three watched TV shows together after dinner, I would watch with them, sharing in their laughter. Yet, seeing Happy held in her parents' embrace, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness in my heart. I can no longer feel cold or heat, yet I genuinely believe that being in my parents' arms must be very warm. Fortunately, Happy and I can talk about anything, whenever she feels wronged. She comes to me, we are best friends, until one day she asked me, "Sis, are you a ghost?" I thought for a moment and asked, "What do you think, Happy?" Happy laughed and said, "Even if you are a ghost, you're the best ghost in the whole world, you would never hurt Happy, right?" I smiled and agreed, but later, I broke that promise. The turning point came when Happy was 7. That year, Happy started school and made many friends. Her birthday parties were no longer just with her parents but celebrated with many friends instead. She often talked to me about her school friends, especially a girl named Tina whom she mentioned the most. On Happy's birthday, I met Tina for the first time, unexpectedly. Tina, like me, was born with deformities. My mother was also taken aback by Tina's appearance. Tina's mother, elegant and dignified in glasses, followed behind her with fruits and small gifts for the children. Dressed in a pink princess gown, Tina exuded confidence and radiance, instantly becoming the center of attention in an unconventional way. Happy excitedly greeted her. "Is this the new dress you told us about yesterday? It looks so pretty." The other kids agreed, and Tina, with a nod, twirled around proudly, her pink tulle lifting like a princess. Tina was the center of the children's group, a shining sun, while I felt like an ant exposed under the sun's glare. I had always thought my deformity was a sin, that all deformed children, like me, were doomed to live in dark gutters. The only other person as surprised as me was my mother. While the kids went to play inside and the mothers prepared tea, my mother hesitated several times before finally asking Tina's mother, "Tina is so lively and cheerful, you must have raised her well. Have these years been very hard for you?" Tina's mother cheerfully replied, "Not at all, Tina is my angel. I haven't found it hard at all. In fact, she is more sensible than many children her age, but I always tell her not to worry about what others think and just be herself." The other mothers nodded in agreement, but my mother was clearly distracted and, out of sync with the ongoing conversation, inappropriately asked, "Do you ever regret having Tina?" The other mothers looked at my mom in surprise, probably wondering why she would speak so insensitively. Tina's mother, slightly annoyed, responded, "I don't understand what you mean. What mother would regret having her child? If there were regrets, then it's better not to have children at all." The atmosphere turned awkward. My mother, her face pale, forced a laugh. "Yes, right." But at that moment, the emotions I had long suppressed erupted. It turned out that deformity was not my original sin. Even those considered ugly could become the sun. I watched them celebrate Happy's birthday with a cold eye. I had never had a birthday celebration. From then on, I could no longer live peacefully within this family. I was consumed by intense jealousy and envy of everything Tina and Happy had. Seeing their happiness only brought me pain. Meanwhile, the family began to experience changes. Misfortune started occurring. My uncle had a car accident and ended up paying a significant compensation. My mother's job was fraught with errors, nearly leading to her dismissal. Happy began to have inexplicable nosebleeds, and my aunt and uncle seemed disoriented and lethargic at home. This was a period so strange that even a ceiling fan might suddenly fall. When chopping vegetables, the kitchen knife would slip and fall to the extent of hitting my foot. Even one night, an electrical fire suddenly broke out. If it wasn't for my mother discovering it in time during a nighttime trip to the bathroom, we would have had a major fire. From my perspective, I could clearly see our home enveloped in a thick, dark aura. Whenever I got angry, this dark aura would intensify. My mother simply thought we were going through an unusually unlucky period and never considered other factors. But soon, she finally became aware of my presence. This happened when my uncle and his family, including the cousin whose actions had indirectly led to my death, came to visit. When I passed away at the age of 7, my cousin was only 6, now he's 15, much taller, yet his nature hasn't changed. Happy really dislikes this cousin because he used to pull her hair when she was little, causing her to cry bitterly. So this time when he visited, Happy stayed in her room playing with her dolls, refusing to go out. However, it wasn't long before my cousin Will, who is also Happy's cousin, found her. "What's so fun about that broken doll?" How about I take you out for some fun? I advised Happy from the side not to go. Happy shook her head. I don't want to play with you. Will shamelessly leaned in closer. Do you have any pocket money? I'll take you out to buy some fun and tasty treats. Happy scoffed. Even if I did, I wouldn't give it to you. Will clicked his tongue. Neither sister is any good. That set Happy off. She stood up. What did you say about my sister? Will laughed, staring fixedly at my sister with malice. Oh, you know you have a sister. Your sister is a monster. After saying that, Will made a grotesque face at Happy, deliberately imitating my facial deformity. Happy got angry. You're lying. You're the monster. You're lying. Happy tried to silence Will, but he continued to mimic my facial deformity, laughing loudly while doing so, confused. Happy looked at me standing next to Will. I was staring coldly at him, feeling helpless. Happy burst into tears, prompting relatives who heard the commotion to rush into the room. Happy, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Will, did you bully your little cousin again? Will spread his hands innocently. No, the little girl just loves to cry. What does it have to do with me? With eyes red from crying, Happy looked bewildered at Will. He just mentioned my sister. Mom came over. And all the relatives exchanged awkward smiles. Happy, you don't have a sister. Your cousin is just teasing you. Mom quickly interjected. All right, let's go out to eat soon. Happy, stop crying and apologize to your cousin. Happy, struggling to catch her breath from crying, insisted. I don't want to. Be obedient. Will looked at Happy with the same smug expression he had 9 years ago when he lied about me stealing money. My resentment grew stronger. Only Happy could see me in the dark aura enveloping me, quickly being absorbed into her body. Happy, would you lend your body to your sister? I'll stand up for you. Happy nodded, and in an instant, a surge of dark aura took over Happy's body. I became Happy. It had been so long since I felt so tangible. Happy, hurry up and apologize to your cousin. I tilted my head and looked at Mom with a peculiar gaze, smiling. Apologize. Why didn't he apologize to me when he accused me of stealing money 9 years ago? Everyone present was stunned, including Will. Happy, what are you talking about? What am I saying? Can't you hear? If none of you heard it, I'll say it again. I walked towards Will, staring intensely into his eyes. 9 years ago, you stole $20 that your mom left under the coffee table, spent it all downstairs with your friends, and then gave me a pack of candy, yet you said I stole the money. With a trembling gaze, Will looked at me. Have you gone mad? I grabbed his left hand. Was it this hand that stole the money, or the other? Using telekinesis, I controlled a nearby fruit knife, which instantly flew towards us. The arrow went straight through my cousin's palm. A loud cry of agony echoed as he fell to the ground, blood dripping steadily. I burst into laughter, bending over as I mocked. Does it hurt? Does it hurt as much as when those drugs took effect after I swallowed them? My mother grabbed my shoulders, trembling as she asked, You're not happy. I looked at her with a cold sneer, then slowly pried her fingers off one by one. Mom, I'm your little monster. Have you forgotten? My cousin was taken away by my uncle and aunt, and Mom and my uncle tied up Happy, fearing I might cause more trouble, but I had already left Happy's body. Confused, Happy looked at our parents and asked, Dad, Mom, why are you tying me up? She had completely forgotten everything that happened while I possessed her, in my uncle's arms. My mom cried, It's Sweet. Sweet has come for us. She wants revenge. Innocently, Happy asked, Sweet, is that my sister's name? Mom snapped back to reality. Happy, you are Happy. Do you know your sister? Happy nodded. Sister is right there beside you, watching you. Yes, I was right beside Mom, enjoying the look of fear on her face. My uncle scolded, Happy, don't talk nonsense. But Happy insisted, Sister has always been here. She's been with us all these years. Just as Happy finished speaking, Mom suddenly let out an uncontrollable scream. She grabbed my uncle's collar frantically. Did you hear that? Sweet has always been here. Happy said so. My uncle tried to calm her down, crouching down to Happy. Happy, children shouldn't lie. If you can see your sister, why only say it now? Happy replied. Because it was a secret between Sweet and me. I promised not to tell you. Before she could finish, her gaze shifted towards the mirror. Mom and my uncle looked in the direction of the mirror to see words written in streaks of moisture I had just written. Mom, your little monster is back. Can you hug me? Simultaneously, My long sealed portrait crashed to the floor. Everything signified my presence. Mom cried out hoarsely, "Sweet, why did you come back? Why do you still torment me?" I whispered something into Happy's ear. And she repeated it to Mom. Sister says it's because she hates you. Mom's fragile sanity completely shattered. Uncle immediately found a new house, hoping to take Happy and Mom away from me, but he didn't realize that wherever Mom went, I would follow. It wasn't up to me. I didn't know why it was like this. Wherever they were, Happy would tell them, I'm right beside them. Countless times, Mom vented to the air, "Sweet, I gave birth to you. I brought you into this world. What right do you have to hate me? I should have listened to the doctor and not had you." "Yes, Mom, I'm a monster, and so are you, so let's go to hell together." My uncle and Mom started seeking out renowned psychics and so-called sorcerers in hopes of banishing me. Ironically, despite spending a considerable amount of money, these so-called great sages and sorcerers couldn't even detect my presence. After several attempts, not only did they fail to achieve anything, but both my uncle and Mom began to suffer nosebleeds. I didn't realize until then that my resentment had grown beyond my own control. Happy was very worried, and she asked me fearfully, "Sister, can you please not hurt Mom and Dad?" I shook my head, unable to control myself. The slight hatred that had persisted for so many years flared up into a raging inferno from just a small spark. Anyone who came close got burned. Myself included. Perhaps the purpose of a monster is to cause harm. A couple of days later, Mom and Uncle brought someone else over. I initially thought it would be futile, but I recognized this person. It was Tina's mom. Upon entering the room, she sighed and said, "I had decided never to do this again, but I'll do it one last time for you." Then she took off her glasses, which she always wore. After looking around, she saw me and our eyes met. She murmured in surprise, "It's a child just like my daughter." Tina's mom has the ability to see things others can't from a young age, but because she saw too much and delved into things better left unsaid, it backfired on her. Tina was supposed to be a healthy child. Feeling deeply indebted to Tina, she decided never to help others this way again and just wanted to take good care of her own child. Yet, Mom still brought her to us. Tina's mom and I were alone in a room. She looked at me gently. "Can I hug you?" I didn't expect her to say that. I replied, "I'm dead, you can't hug me, but you can hug me, right?" Tina's mom opened her arms. "Sweet, would you hug your aunt?" I stepped back, shaking my head. "I'm a little monster. How could that be?" Tina's mom said, "You and my daughter are both little angels kissed by heaven. Now, little angel, will you hug your aunt? Can I really be treated as an angel too?" Timidly, I walked towards her and hugged her, although she couldn't feel it. I still felt the warmth when I embraced her voluntarily, the scorching warmth of a living person and the warmth of a beating heart. For some reason, tears suddenly fell from my eyes. It seemed like tears I had wanted to cry out for many years. "Good child, you're really well behaved. Your mom told me about you." Hearing about my mom made me wary again. Does she want to drive me away? Tina's mom looked at me gently. No, she also wants to have a good talk with her daughter. I told Tina's mom that I couldn't leave my mom's side, not since my death until now, and I couldn't control my anger anymore. I couldn't peacefully coexist with them. I yelled in anger, "Why am I the only monster? Why am I the only one who died?" They continue to live well as if nothing had happened. That's not true, sweet. First, you are not a monster. Also, you don't have to watch others live happily. You deserve your own happiness. There will be new parents who will welcome you, love you, and cherish you like a little angel, and you will receive enough warmth. So, it's not that this family doesn't need you, it's that you don't need this family anymore. These words struck a chord with me. I too am tired, and I no longer want to be around them. If I still have a choice, that is. I shook my head and said, "But I don't know how to leave. I heard from your mom that Sweet died by suicide, right?" I didn't want to die. I just wanted to take medicine to cure myself. I didn't want to be a monster. Did Sweet ever regret taking those pills, or was there something she was fixated on? It's the fixation that keeps a soul lingering, isn't it? Sweet's fixation had something to do with your mom, right? I fell silent. Back then, the intense pain and heartburn woke me up after I took the pills. I did regret it at that moment, but what was it that I truly hoped for? I hoped my cousin would clear my name. I didn't steal those $20. I hoped to be a normal child, even if just for a day. I hoped for my mother to hug me sincerely and tell me once again that I was a gift from heaven. That was all I ever wanted. Mom, Uncle, and Happy had been waiting outside for a long time. As soon as Tina's mom came out, my mom hurried over and asked, "How did it go? What did she say?" "Sweet didn't mean to hurt you all. There's no need to be so anxious," Tina's mom said. "No, she said she wants to drag us to hell with her. Tina's mom interrupted impatiently. Happy's mom, "Sweet is your own daughter. Can't you understand a daughter's angry words? If not, maybe you should reflect on how you've been, what you could have done wrong." Mom was silent. Finally, Uncle stepped in to smooth things over. "Tina's mom, given the situation now, what should we do? If a person dies with strong unresolved desires, their spirit will stay close to the person they are fixated on. Sweet had unfulfilled wishes, so her spirit is still with her mother. There's only one way. Let Sweet possess Happy's body until she fulfills her wishes, then she will leave on her own." "What are these wishes? What if they are never fulfilled? Will she keep possessing Happy?" Mom asked. Tina's mom, who had always been somewhat dissatisfied with my mom, burst out, "Then go and fulfill them. Isn't that what you should do when you decide to become a parent? Why did you have her if you aren't going to take responsibility? If you had done so well, would your child have died?" "I am also a first-time mom. A child is also a first-time child. Parents can be parents again, but children don't get another chance." Happy's mom, "This isn't an excuse. If your child had no fixations, she wouldn't have died. This is also the last chance for you to be together. I won't say more. Just think about it." Tina's mom bent down to touch Happy's head. "Would you lend your body to your sister?" Happy nodded. "I don't want my sister to be unhappy. I want her to be her old self again." Tina's mom turned to Uncle and Mom. "The rest is up to you." At that moment, Mom spoke up. "What is Sweet's wish?" I was now in Happy's body. I looked at my hands, feeling their real touch. Uncle knelt down and touched my head gently. "You are Sweet now, right?" I nodded. "It's nice to meet you, Sweet. If only I had known about you sooner. What do you like to eat?" "I'll make it for dinner," he said, smiling as he gently pinched my cheek. Mom stood there, mouth slightly open, unsure of what to say. Finally, she murmured, "Sweet, what is your wish?" Uncle suggested, "Let's talk about it tomorrow." "Okay, don't rush this moment," I slowly said. "Can I have the cola chicken wings, the ones Happy loved the most?" "Of course, Sweet. What else would you like to eat? Mention a few things, and your uncle will go buy them." "One is enough, just one." "Then you should come with your uncle, and we'll buy whatever you like." Uncle held my hand and took me to the market, where a small stall had just put out freshly baked cakes. I glanced at them a few times, and Uncle noticed and bought one for me. That evening, Uncle prepared a big feast, not only with cola chicken wings and braised prawns, but also my all-time favorite stewed chicken feet. Uncle smiled warmly and said, "Your mom mentioned that you loved chicken feet the most. Try Uncle's cooking." Throughout the meal, my mom and I didn't speak. Mom noticed the cream cake Uncle had bought and said, "It's not even a birthday. Why buy such a big cake?" Uncle chuckled and replied, "You can eat cake even when it's not a birthday." I asked my mom, "Mom, do you remember my birthday?" "Of course, I do. September 16th, Uncle coughed. I laughed. "That's Happy's birthday, not mine." "You don't know my birthday because I've never celebrated it. For a child, it's their birthday. For a mother, it might be a day of suffering." For my mom, that day marked the beginning of her hardships in life. Naturally, she didn't wish to remember it. Mom froze for a moment, then her eyes slowly reddened, and she put down her chopsticks and said, "You go ahead and eat." Then she turned and went back to her room. I greedily scooped up a mouthful of cake, savoring the sweet taste. After dinner, following the family tradition, Happy and her parents would cozy up together to watch TV dramas. While I hesitated, my uncle had already called me to join them on the bed. I sat between them, savoring this stolen moment. They handed me the remote and told me I could watch whatever I wanted. I remembered how, when I was alive, I loved watching cartoons the most. But my mother would always push me away with disgust and tell me to do my homework instead. Every night from 8 to 10, she would watch TV by herself while I studied in a small room, often falling asleep at the desk and waking up with my head still lying there. I turned to my mom and asked, "Can I watch?" "Of course, you can, Happy." "No, Sweet, watch whatever you want," she replied. I smiled and thanked her. That night, My uncle and mom watched cartoons with me for a long time until I fell asleep. My uncle wanted to carry me back to my room, but my mom said, "Let me take her back." She carried me to my room and tucked me in. It seemed she stared at me for a long time before gently kissing my forehead, a nightly ritual she usually reserved for Happy. But this time, she whispered, "Good night, sweet." I pretended to be asleep, but a tear involuntarily rolled down my cheek. Being happy, and receiving my mother's love, felt like such a blissful thing. The next day, Mom took me to my aunt's house. I told her that I didn't steal the $20 and wanted everyone to know that even if I was a monster, I wasn't a thief. "You're not a monster," my mom responded softly. At my aunt's house, my cousin, still with his hand bandaged, trembled with fear at the sight of me. The memory of our last encounter was too frightening for him. My aunt stood uneasily, presumably because my mom had spoken to her. I looked at my cousin and demanded, "Tell the truth." "What truth? I didn't steal the $20. It's just $20. Why all this?" my aunt began. I smirked darkly. "It's because of that $20. I died." My cousin couldn't hold back anymore. He burst into tears in his mother's arms. "I'm sorry, it was me. I stole the money and spent it all on snacks. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm sorry." My aunt, perhaps to save face in front of my mom and me, slapped him without a word and made him kneel to apologize. He knelt before me, crying and apologizing, while my mom remained silent. I thought she must be reflecting on what she had done to me before. After we left my uncle's house, my mom suddenly took my hand and asked, "Sweet, what else would you like to do? Tell Mom, can I have a birthday like Happy did every year?" I asked. After a moment of silence, she agreed. I smiled. She called my uncle. And the first thing on Happy's birthday every year was a trip to the amusement park, a place I had never been. I didn't even know what to play with, but my mom said I could do whatever I wanted and bought me a rabbit balloon to hold. "You like little rabbits, right?" I nodded. I didn't tell her that my favorite was actually lambs, but rabbits were still Happy's favorite animals. I had a blast at the amusement park, trying out all kinds of rides like the merry-go-round, the rapids, the trampoline, and the go-karts. My uncle joined me on the bumper cars while my mom watched with a tenderness I had never seen before. As if I was her little bundle of joy. Was she watching me or just reminiscing? It didn't matter. I licked the ice cream Mom had bought me, laughing heartily at my uncle who was soaked from the rapids ride. But then, without thinking, I accidentally called my uncle Dad. Both he and my mom were stunned. Uncle then hugged me tightly and said, "It's okay to call me Dad. Even borrowed affection is still affection." Uncle asked me, "Did you have fun at the park?" I nodded. "It was so much fun. Ha ha ha, if it's fun, we could go every day." Uncle stopped mid-sentence, and Mom's smile froze. I knew I had no more everydays left, but I still smiled. Just being here once is great. I finally got to see what an amusement park is like. Mom turned away. I softly asked, "Uncle, Mom, can we take a photo together?" They took me to the best and most expensive studio in town. The salesperson who greeted us was all smiles, saying she had never seen such a beautiful child before. She asked if we were there for a family portrait or just individual photos. Mom asked me, "Sweet, would you like to take a family photo with us?" I nodded. "I'd also like a photo just of me, if that's okay." Mom, smiling, touched my head. "Of course, sweet. Today you're the star." I chose an angel-themed setup for my solo shot. But we also took a family photo with Uncle and Aunt. During the shoot, the photographer told me, "Little one, hug your parents and give us a big smile." Uncle and Mom both wrapped their arms around me. "Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3, the camera clicked. After the shoot, Mom asked the salesperson if we could see the photos today. Initially hesitant, claiming the quality wouldn't be as good, the staff eventually let me pick my photos on the computer. I went through our shots over and over. Passers-by sometimes stopped to admire them, murmuring, "Such a beautiful child." Suddenly, Mom whispered, "I should have taken more pictures of you back then." I pointed to the brightest, happiest photo of me. "This one, I want to keep this one, please." The salesperson chuckled. "Why so formal? All these photos are yours." When we left the studio, the sun had set. Uncle and Mom held my hands as we walked. Watching other families with their children, I felt a wave of contentment. "That's enough. I think I'm good." I stopped and said. Uncle looked puzzled. but Mom instantly understood. She panicked. No, there's no rush. Whatever you wish for, Mom will make it happen. You haven't even tried barbecue yet, or the water park. Things all kids love. I'll take you. I cut her off, smiling. No need. My only wish before I die was to live like a normal child, even if just for a day. My wish is fulfilled. Mom's tears fell suddenly as she finally voiced her long-held question. Sweet, why did you want to end your life? Why? I didn't want to die. I thought my ugliness, my deformity, was a sickness that pills could cure. I didn't want to be Mom's little monster anymore, nor did I want to make you cry. I don't dislike you, she said. I watched quietly as Mom cried. Mom, the candy my cousin gave me years ago, I wanted to bring it back for you, but it was when you hit and scolded me in front of everyone that I realized you really didn't like me anymore. Mom's makeup was smeared from crying. Sweet, sweet, don't blame me. When your dad had an affair, it hurt me deeply, and I didn't know what to do. I know I shouldn't blame you, but I couldn't control my emotions. I'm sorry, sweet, really sorry. I hugged Mom and she sobbed loudly in my arms, attracting glances from passers-by. Mom, if we could start over, please don't have me again. Okay, Mom, I really envy Happy. I truly, truly wish I could have grown up loved like Happy, knowing how happy it could be to be your daughter. Mom, the photo I chose earlier, can you get it developed and keep it safe for me? I also want to have a beautiful photo, not hidden away anymore. Mom grabbed my hand frantically. Sweet, sweet, will you stay? Just stay by Mom like before, will you? I promise to treat you better. It was my first time being a mom. I'm sorry, sweet, sorry. I shook my head. Mom, I've already felt warmth. Some things can't go back to how they were. I've seen the sun. How can I endure the cold abyss again? I hugged my uncle. Thank you, Uncle. You've always been the kind of dad I wished for. Being your daughter was truly a blessing. Uncle wiped away tears. Then, I kissed Mom on the forehead. Mom, I'm giving Happy back to you, your little monster. I'm really leaving now. My soul left Happy's body. Mom knelt on the ground, weeping bitterly, while Uncle comforted her by holding her. I had nothing left to cling to, so I didn't look back. Life and death, the cycle of existence. Once the obsession is let go, everything must follow its natural course. Before stepping into reincarnation, my soul witnessed the final state of my loved ones. This is a right every soul has before entering the cycle, to see across time the end of their loved ones. To resolve any regrets, I saw my biological father die at 50, struck by a car while drunk and crossing the street. My cousin turned into an ordinary adult, just one of the many. Happy grew into a beautiful and optimistic girl, dedicating her life to helping the disabled, respected, and with a happy family of her own. Uncle lived a kind and easy life, fishing and playing with birds in his old age, and my mom, immersed in the pain of losing me in her later years, found peace after Happy grew up. At 48, one afternoon, Mom fell into a deep sleep holding a photo of me, which was also Happy's face, and never woke up. The angel asked me, "You have no regrets then? Can I see what dream my mom had before she died?" With a wave of the angel's hand, my mother's dream unfolded before me. In the bustling hospital ward, a young pregnant mother, supported by my father, stood up anxiously and asked the doctor, "How is my child?" The doctor, with a troubled expression, replied, "I have some bad news. The scans suggest that there is a high probability the child will have abnormalities. We do not recommend proceeding with the pregnancy." My father, shocked, looked at the doctor and asked, "How could this be?" Turning to my mother, the doctor asked, "Have you decided? Do you want to keep the child?" Tears streamed down my mother's face as she gazed at her slightly swollen belly, her expression a mixture of laughter and tears. Everyone's eyes were on her. Wiping away her tears, she said firmly, "I cannot keep it." As the dream ended, I too smiled with a sense of relief. This life has come to an end, with no further ties to the earthly realm. In the next life, I will no longer be the little monster in my mother's life. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.